Yo, what's up ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome back to my channel. My name is Ndifon Ntui, and on this channel I make tutorials. I post new videos on Wednesdays and on Saturday, so please make sure to check back on those days in order to watch new content. If you like the video, please you should like my videos. If you enjoy the videos, it really helps me out. Thank you so much for all your support in the past, and thank you for watching the video now. If you're a beginner or if you're a person who wants to push up on your skill, I offer online courses. I'll be showing a demo on how to make a jumpsuit. If you are interested, please send a Telegram message to the number that I can see on the screen. Thank you so much. Do have a lovely day. Bye bye. Alright, welcome to today's video. In this video we're going to handle a very easy top. Alright, so now there are measurements there that I need to explain. The first one is the measurement that I call chest measurement. So you can see that the top starts from after the armhole. So when you're taking that chest measurement I call chest measurement, you take it starting from here. Okay, so this is where I took the measurement from, the 35. This is where I got it from. Now as for the top length, I also came from this part here and then I went down. So that's what you do, you go down to wherever you want your top to stop. Alright, the sleeve length, the same thing. I came from here immediately, just right next to my armhole. This is where I started measuring the sleeve length that you can see there from. So I came from here down to the bottom of the sleeve, and then the bicep measurement is a regular bicep measurement. So just want to get that out of the way. Let's start cutting. Alright, so to begin, I have my paper here. The first measurement we're going to place is the chest measurement. So like what you saw there is 35 inches. 35 inches divided by 4 is 8.75. Alright, so I'm going to add I'll add 4 inches to that 8.75 before placing it to make my curve. I'll show you how to make the curve now. So 8.75 plus the 4 inches of excess that I want, because if you take a look at the top, around the top part of the top, you can see little gathers. Now I'm using 4 inches. You can use more, but just know that the more you add to the initial chest measurement you have, the fuller is going to be. I don't want it to be too full, so I'm going to add only around 4 inches. 8.75 plus 4 inches is 12.75. So I'm going to use 12.75 to make a quarter of a circle. So what you want to do, simply just bring your 12.75, okay, and then use that to make a circle, okay, to make a curve, okay. So this is a quarter of a circle. So when you've been able to keep your tape like so, using the 12.75 or whatever number you have here, simply just make marks at the edge of the tape. Okay, and when you have done that, alright, so now that's the first part of the top. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to place the actual length of the top. So the top length is 14 inches, as you've seen, from the armhole down 14 inches. So to that 14 inches, I'm going to add 1.5 inches for sewing allowance, half inch at the top and 1 inch at the down. So 14 inches plus 1.5 is 15.5. So I'm going to place 15.5 here, make a mark, and then I'm going to do that around the circle. So at every point, I'll place 15.5 all the way around. Alright, so that is it for the first part. This part here, I want you to label it as body. Okay, so as for the sleeve, we're going to do something similar to what we did on the body. For the sleeve, what we're going to do is you're going to divide the bicep measurements by 4, okay, and then you add 2 inches to it. So the distance around the bicep that we have here is 13 inches. 13 inches divided by 4 is 3.25. 3.25 plus 2 inches for the excess that we want on the sleeve. 3.25 plus the excess that we want on the sleeve is 5.25. So in this case, I'm going to do 5.25 to make the circle at the half of the circle at a quarter of the circle, sorry, at the top of the paper. So 5.25. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to place the sleeve length. So the sleeve length I'm working with is 16 inches. 16 inches plus, I'm going to keep 1 inch for excess on the sleeve. 16 inches plus 1 inch of allowance is going to I'll end up with 17. So I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I'm going to place 17 all the way around the curve we have at the top. First of all, the sleeve has 2 levels, okay? There's one that's shorter. This pattern that I just drafted is the part that's meant to be longer. So I'm going to use this pattern to first cut the long part of the sleeve, and then I will shorten it later on and use that to cut the short part of the sleeve. You will see me do that. Okay, now before I start bringing out the fabric, I'm going to use different, okay, I'll just make this video. I had a lot of little pieces of fabric sitting down here and there that on their own cannot sew, cannot make anything, so I'm putting them together to make the top for you guys to see. So even after my sacrifice, if you guys want to judge me for using for mismatching fabrics, God is watching you, so don't judge. All the fabrics I will bring out to be folded into 4 places. So I'm going to use this piece of fabric to illustrate how I folded every single piece that I'm going to cut on the table. So because of the pieces are really big, I want this to be small so that you see what I'm trying to explain. So we have our regular fabric here, 45 inches and whatever length you have. Now how you are going to fold this to cut your flares is you are going to first fold like a regular fold, like you would normally do, okay? And after you have done that, you're now going to collapse here, like so, okay? So by the time you do this, next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut the top, okay? And then cut the bottom, and then what we are left with is our circle. All right, so I'm going to fold all the pieces needed for the patterns I just cut like this. All right, so let me go ahead, keep my fabric, place my patterns on top and cut. I'm going to start with the body first. Now, after cutting the long part of the sleeve, I want to reduce the bottom half of the sleeve so that I will use this to cut the first layer, that's the shorter layer on the sleeve. So I'm going to measure 7 inches for this layer. So I'm going to mark 7 inches everywhere, cut. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to need to hem the bottom of the circles on all of the patterns. So the bottom of the circle, that's the bottom of the curve. This is the top, the bottom. Simply fold ½ inch twice and hem around. I will show you using the smaller pattern so that we don't take a lot of time. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead to hem both the body and the sleeve. Alright? Alright, so I've hemmed every other piece. So let me show you what to do using this little piece here. It's quite simple. Just fold twice like that and start from here. Also watch how I fold the fabric, because hemming a circle can be quite tricky, especially if you're using a regular presser foot like the one I'm using. Alright, so just watch closely to see how I handle the fabric. Alright, so now the next thing you're going to do is you're going to need ½ inch elastic. So for this piece here, this is the part that is going to be at the top of the pattern that I drafted for the body. I cut this elastic to be 33 inches long. Okay, so the body is 35 minus 2 inches, 33. You're going to do the same thing to the half-inch elastic that's meant for the sleeve. Since the bicep is 13, you're going to cut 2 pieces of elastic at 11 inches each. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and stitch here down by half an inch before I apply this to the body. Okay, so now this is the body. Okay, so this part here is the body. I'm going to attach this elastic to the body, and while I'm joining it, while I'm stitching the top edge here together where you see me stitch, I will slightly stretch my elastic every time I make a stitch until I go all the way around. Alright. Alright, if you have an overlocker, this would be a good time to use that to finish the edge of the fabric and the elastic at the same time. Alright, now the next stitch is, I'm going to come back to where I started. Alright, you can start from anywhere anyway. And then I'm going to bend this part here in like so. And then I'm going to top stitch right on the edge here all the way around. That's what I'm going to do next. Alright, after you've cut the elastic for the sleeve, do the same thing, fold it in half and tack one end down. Alright, and then the next thing you want to do is you're going to take one side of the sleeve that is meant to be the big part. Alright, one side of the sleeve that's meant to be the big part, you place it down, get a smaller one and place it on top. And then once you have done that, you're going to take your elastic and we're going to simply do what we did before. After you've secured both of them like this, turn it to the other side. Keep the side that is shorter, keep the shorter side facing the machine and the longer one on top like I have done. I'm now going to stitch the elastic on top of here all the way around. We did before. After you get to the end, you can head over to your ironing table, to your overlocker. You can head over to your overlocker and use that to finish the rough edge that you have here for the neatest finish. But after you have done that, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing, simply fold it in and stitch around, which is what I'm going to do now. Alright? So I'm now going to repeat the same thing on the other side of the sleeve off camera, but then I will show you how to bind both sides to the body. It's pretty easy. Like I said, it's just an easy project for you guys. Alright, so let me do the next sleeve. So after you have made the top, the next thing is to tack one sleeve on either side. Tack one sleeve here and tack the other here. Now when it comes to the tacking, it's pretty easy. It's just to pick it up and pick one side of your sleeve and then simply put it on your sewing machine and stitch them together back and forth. Just lock back and forth. And alright, and then I'm going to simply repeat this step on this other side. After you do that, we are basically done with the top. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Do not forget to subscribe. If you like the video, honestly, just press the like button. It really helps me out. Have a lovely day. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye. Let me tack on the other side.